Hello, yes, it's the old get back again. And what can I say? Um, I'm not so frequent as normal. That sounds like I don't go to the toilet enough. No, it's not. But tonight, by the picture behind me, you can probably see who I'm going to be talking about. And tonight is very serious. And there's a few revelations, a few things that I've found out about the man. Let's just show everybody, shall we, who we're talking about. Let's go there. There's the man, eh? Old Starmer the Harmer. Now, you all think, he's just a Labour candidate, a man of the Labour Party, people, man of the people, but he's got a very sinister past as far as I'm concerned. He is a self-confessed globalist. But where does them tendencies come from? How long has he held them? And how dangerous are they for the British population? Because he we'll take the migrant. I always talk about migrants as a good example. He doesn't really care because what is it all about? Well, let's just look at his history a little bit. And first of all, we got, can you see that there? The Socialist Democratic and the Alternative and the Socialist and all that blah blah blah. He's well into that. And from 1986 to 1987, Starmer, he served as the editor of the Socialist Alternatives. It's a trusty radical magazine produced by an organisation under the same name, which represented the British section of the International Revolutionary Marxist tendency, or to cut it short, the IRMT. Now, who are they? Why do you think they are so dangerous? Well, the International Revolutionary Marxist Tendency, or the IRMT, is still active in over 70 countries around the world. And they are striving to raise the banner under which the awakening of a generation of revolutionary workers and youth can assemble and to overthrow capitalism. Now that's very important because he's part of that. And he did write in the magazine, one of his things was about political pluralism, which means, well, go and look it up. But anyway, it means the same thing as they want to do. In short, they're fighting to build a single global party of world socialist revolutionaries based on the scientific revolutionary communist ideas of Marx, Engels, Lenin, and Trotsky, which they defend these people vehemently. Now, he was well into all this, and he actually, how can I say, these have been his beliefs, and I think secretly he's still the same. And because of his actions and the way that he behaves and how he thinks about the what do you call the people, like the poor peasants that work under the communist regime? Well, what we are to him, don't do as I say, don't do what I do, but do as I say. Typical communist. And they've been showing themselves to be. So he was a part of this organisation. It's very poignant to know he's still a globalist. He still looks at this kind of revolutionary way, and his ideals were all based around that. And he had a strong belief in them days. Now, he well, I can say, the revolutionary. I meant to put this up. The Revolutionary Communist International. That's who they were. But anyway, never mind. Let's move on a little bit in Starmer's history, and it appears that Starmer he worked in a communist Czechoslovakian work camp at the height of the Cold War. Now, why would he want to do that? Why would anybody go there unless you felt you had the same beliefs? But he did. He was then only 23 years old, but he was old enough to know his mind, and was one of 17, which were mostly students from around the globe, And in 1986, the scheme behind the Iron Curtain was to restore the memorials and victims of the Nazi atrocities which were committed in Czechoslovakia. But, and here's the rub, because you've got to understand why these people were invited. They knew the type of person to invite because they would have read his magazine, they would have studied that he was, a bona fide communist. And what they did, that's Sakia, where are we? Let's restore them. I said what you did. Okay, of course. Sorry about this. I do get tongue quite. I'm 72 years old. What do you expect? Anyway, but this is very scary. But while the volunteers had a noble intention, or did they, unbeknown to them in the event, was being monitored by those with far more sinister motives. So basically, whilst he was there, he was being monitored. Because obviously the Iron Curtain was still up then, wasn't it? Yes. And Sakia's full name, date of birth, passport number, family home address is listed among other international work camp participants in a dossier which is kept in the Foreign Intelligence Main Directorate, which you can go, it's there. It's proof that he was there and he was doing that. Which is in a section of the Czechoslovakia's secret police archives. His visa application, his passport photo, handwritten personal details were all kept a separate section of the Czech Cold War State Security Archives. Now, it gets even more, like I say, it gets really more scary. Well, not scary, but we know what he is, and we know where he's coming from. And I can't find my mouse, so I want to show you something else now. Okay, you know what I'm like anyway. You're all used to me by now. Here's the man himself again when he was a young man, and there he is with his socialist alternatives and the social democratic and all the rest of the stuff that he was into. Vile stuff, as we know. Communism doesn't work. And but that file that I told you about, which is available, you can go and see with those details in. But there's another file, and you might, here we go, another file. Well, there's a file which is marked top secret, bomb, top secret. There he is. Where is he? There he goes. And the file called top secret. Why does he keep going back to there? Anyway, we don't care. Top secret file from a previous international work camp in Prague in 1980 shows that it was overseen by ruthless Czech STB spy agencies as part of a wide-ranging and far-reaching active measure euphemism for black operations and disformation campaign to undermine NATO. Hang on, this is getting serious now, isn't it? So he was under the eyes of these people. Now, the secret police also planted a spy posing as a camp supervisor among these foreign students in 1982 to produce a classified dossier profiling the visitors, which was earmarked for further exploration who could potentially be of use to them in the future. Now, what's in that dossier? What's in there about Keir Starmer? Is he a puppet of this regime that's trying to overthrow Western democracy? And do they have the goods on him? Do they know what's in the documents? Now, the files from Sakir's camp do not specify whether the secret police plans to use the information they harvested from him and others. But secretly, experts said they also appeared to be gathering intelligence about young high flyers in Western countries for potential long-term use. Now, if you've listened to what I've said, and you know that this man is a globalist, this man doesn't admit to knowing anything about anything except he doesn't want to get involved, but he is tantamount to destroying the country. He's banning freedom of speech. You can get arrested and put in prison in the UK like you could in Russia for saying something that they don't agree with, naughty words. Two-tier policing. A woman who says something on a tweet gets 3 years in prison. A man that slashes and stabs a man on the street for burning the Quran gets nothing. You know, other people who've been sent to prison for sending tweets, and it doesn't agree with what they agree with, have gone to prison. As other people like rapists who've been set free after they've raped 14-year-old girls and after they've assaulted other women. Besides, it's okay. He doesn't understand. There's such a 2-tier or even 3-tier system going on in the UK, and it's pitting everybody against everybody else. And this is why I think he's doing it, because of this, because of the fact that he is a globalist, and what he wants to overthrow democracy. He wants this globally single-party entity to rule the world, exactly like the Muslims want. And in a way, they're helping him. But what he doesn't understand is if he doesn't curb them, there will be a one-state world, but it'll be an Islamic one. So he's shooting himself in the foot by thinking that he's doing well for them. So I think this man is dangerous. I think this man shouldn't be running the UK government. He shouldn't be the Prime Minister. He shouldn't be anywhere near. And something else, he thinks he's the head of the public prosecutions, wasn't he? Yes, he was the man responsible for prosecuting certain people or not. Top job, wasn't it? But even he's not squeaky clean, because in the early 80s, Starmer was caught by police illegally selling ice cream while trying to raise money during a holiday on the French Riviera. Now, he escaped this incident without punishment, but I think it's still on record somewhere. So he's not so good, is he? He has maybe tendencies to be a bit hooky. Well, he's proved that by taking all the bribes off this Mr. Ali, whatever his name is. Yeah. So I've opened up a can of worms. I think I've enlightened you to the understanding that, look, this man, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about people as individuals. It's the state. And the state that he wants to produce or make is a state of pure communism, isn't it? He wants global, one-party global control. That's his aim. That's his dream. That's what he's talking about, when he was back writing in the magazine and being a member of that organisation in 1986. And, the International Revolutionary Marxist Tendency, or the IRMT, which still exists. So they could be using him as a puppet. They could have things on him that I don't know and you don't know. But for me, I don't trust the man. I think it's time for him to stand down. And I think it's time for a general election in the UK. And this 2-tier system that's coming through, which incidentally only favours one group of people. It's not exclusively, basically it doesn't include this protection. This 2-tier protects one group. It doesn't protect the white Caucasian man or the Christian or the Sikh or the Hindu or the Buddhist or the evangelist or the Mormon or any other religion. It just seems to favour one, which is the disruptor to get where he wants to go, or so he thinks. And that's it favours these crazy Islamists. So, after that, it's going to be short and sweet. Only about, because I tell you what it is, if you can hear a little humming noise in the back, I always say that it's the air conditioning, because the time is now 12:47 a.m. Yeah, and it's 26 degrees, so it's quite warm. And so I've got the air conditioner. Anyway, that's the old Gets moan and rant for today. Hope you've took it all in. But hey, selling ice cream illegally, you naughty boy, Mr. Starmer. But more serious than that, his way of thinking and the groups that he was attached to. He shouldn't be the Prime Minister of this country. And I wonder if he's declared all that in his CV. Who knows? Not me, for sure. So, what can I say? I can't say anything. I will say, if you want to get in touch with me, well, you can. And share this video around, because I think, people get the gist of it. And there on the screen, you've got my ways to get in touch. Best Before TV, that's X. It's at Best Before T, or bestbeforetv@gmail.com, or you can watch the 24-hour-a-day television station as well, which just happens to be showing a film called The Sadies from 1963 right now. But anyway, that's me done. Hopefully I can get out of here without making a mistake. And until the next time, stay safe, but think on. The man, for me, is a charlatan.